Good afternoon, YouTubers. Tsquare here with Tsquare Talks. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. I wanted to put up a video today about a restaurant review, but I had a little bit of trouble with it because I put it off to the last minute posting it. So we're going to talk a little bit about something else on this fine Saturday morning, and we'll show you guys that barbecue review a little later. But before I do start talking about our topic for the day, as always, I'd like to take a quick minute and thank all of our members to the channel. Thank you, J.M. Sparger, Chris Rivera, Steve Newberry, Chris B., Thomas D., Ronald Smith, Ryan Reed, Conrad, 420 Stacker, Chris in Virginia, The Barbecue Man, and New Marshall. And I'm getting good at your name, huh? I think I'm saying it right now, Chris Rivera. I actually got stopped by an officer, Rivera, the other night, and I instantly thought about you. But we'll put that aside. So thank you all for subscribing. Thank you all for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you're not subscribed, please take a quick minute, hit that subscribe button, and hit that thumbs up because it really does help out the channel. So today we're going to be talking again a little bit about the BRICS, some interesting stuff that's going on right now. And I kind of wanted to talk about it, and a kind of a good story that just happened to me today, actually. So I play I guess you would call it it's called Whiteout Survival. It's a strategy game, war game, and you play with people from around the world. And I actually was promoting someone today as one of my officers on my team, and he tells me he's from India. And I said, oh, wow, India. That's so cool. He said, why? I said, I've been reading a lot about the de-dollarization over there. And I said, have you heard anything about it? Because this is just a random person in India, a different part of the world, but they're not propagandized as we have been. We are, here in this country, we are fed propaganda from pretty much day one. And what we're getting told right now is that there's no way that any of these countries could ever do anything to harm the dollar. Well, that's because they're not going to tell you the truth that this could be worthless pretty soon. Now, hear me out. I'm not saying it's going to be worthless either. But I'm also saying that it's going to go down in value. And if a lot of these countries start dumping the dollar, we could see a rapid acceleration of a loss in purchasing power of our U.S. dollars. Now, in some people's minds, I'm sure you might, well, I don't think anybody on this channel would believe it, but it will be fed. As the dollar starts losing value, we're going to be fed that that's a good thing. Your dollar is losing value. That is awesome. And then you're going to be like, what? How's that awesome? And they're going to feed you this line that, well, because the dollar's going cheaper, that means we can make our stuff for less money, and essentially they're going to buy it overseas. Because when a dollar loses value, or the currency of a country loses value, that means you can buy their stuff with your currency and get more stuff for your money. I'll give you an example. I am here in the United States, and I really, really want to travel to the Philippines. The Philippine trade ratio is 50-1, roughly, from the Filipino peso to the U.S. dollar. Would get 50. People are willing to work cheaper, which means I can get a nice hotel. I can go over there, travel. I can have someone cook my breakfast for me every morning while I'm over there. Or I can go out. Everything's cheap. It's inexpensive. Now, to them, it's not inexpensive. It's inexpensive to us because we have dollars. We use dollars. So when we go over to these places, they love our dollars and our 20s and our 100s and whatever. And so it gives them the opportunity to make money, and it promotes their economy. But eventually what happens is as their economy gets stronger and stronger and stronger, then the purchaser, which is us, slowly gets weaker and weaker and weaker. Why? Because we don't produce anything. It's cheaper for us to have somebody else produce it for us. And then in this country, there's a lot of beneficial plans. I want to be politically correct on how I say this. A lot of government giving out money, subsidies, checks, benefits, welfares, food stamps, that type of stuff. And I'm not knocking anybody. There are a lot of people that need that stuff. But that's part of the reason why we are in debt as much as we're in debt. Now, what was interesting, we sat online and we joked for a while so I could get to know him, because I am really hardcore. When I play some of these war games, I am extremely hardcore in strategizing how the team's laid out, the structure, putting in a command feature and everything. And one of the things that we were joking about, he said, we joke about how hard it is in India. I mean, they work really hard, supposedly. He says, we work hard, and the government is telling us that we need to start saving in either our own currency or precious metals, not fiat dollars. And now, granted, they don't want them necessarily investing in precious metals. They'd prefer that they invest in their currency, the ruble, or the rupee. But needless to say, people are going to invest in gold and silver because they know that gold and silver can't get devalued. This gentleman happened to understand that. He joked. He said, we have a joke here that if someone can't hack the pressures of all the work and stuff, then we recommend you go to America. That's what they teach kids in school as a joke. And I said, that's kind of funny. I said, we teach our kids how a boy can become a girl and a girl can become a boy. And there's 700 and something other genders. We just, joking around online. But you look at where we're going kind of as a culture, we're losing ground. We're losing ground. The American dollar is losing. And a lot of people may or may not know that August 22nd, we are going to see something happen. It could be nothing major, but all these countries are going to meet. Now, I did find it interesting. He actually told me that it's more the UAE that is actually pushing this agenda. See, everybody thinks that it's China and Russia, and I still kind of wonder if it ain't China and Russia. But what he said is it's more the UAE. I wish I could pull up that message and actually read the stuff, because he had knowledge of what was going on. He asked me if I had heard of the new Indian payment method, which is, he's an IT. He does computers for Wells Fargo and some of the big companies. And he said, have you heard of the new payment methods? And I said, I've been following a little bit of some of them, but there's so many out there that who knows? And he explained a little bit, but where I'm going with this is all the other countries out there understand it, except we don't, because they're not telling you. It's propaganda. They're not going to tell you what's going on. Because if you knew, you would definitely dump the dollar and start buying precious metals. And here's the thing. Look at what happened on the news today here in America that I seen. So I actually was over with my neighbors because I don't buy cable. So I was next door talking to her, and the news was on. And they said you can expect to see higher prices on canned goods at the grocery store because of the tariffs that we just put on canned food. And these tariffs will basically raise the prices, essentially, and we'll pay more. They said it was because of the material and that we can't produce it as cheap. And so we don't want to push out cheap product. We want our product to be the same price as their product, so we have a chance. But the problem is, what's wrong when Americans can buy something cheap? Here's the thing. If you can buy a can of beans for $1, we'll say, them good old baked beans, Busher's baked beans, I think it is. It's not an endorsement. If you can buy a can of Busher's baked beans for $1, okay. The government's going to get roughly 7 cents off of that. But if the price of the baked beans in the U.S. are made at $2, let's say, and then we say, oh, well, we're going to put a tariff on the other baked beans that come in from other countries, That way they have to charge more for them to offset that tariff. And now they're $2. Well, the government makes out because now you're paying $2 and your tax on that's going to be 14 cents, roughly 14, 16, depending on if it's 8 cents tax or I don't know, 7%, something like that. Needless to say, the taxes will go up because the product's going to be more expensive. And we're seeing everything go up in price. We're seeing bubbles like crazy. If you try to sell your stocks, you're going to pay higher taxes right now because the prices are up higher. You sell your house, you're going to pay a higher capital gains tax. The government likes this because they want you to have to pay in more tax. I mean, think about all the taxes you get. You get a tax when you work for your money. You get a tax when you spend your money. You get a tax when you transfer your money. You get a tax if you sell a product. You get a tax if you croak, and there has to be a croak tax. I don't like to use the D word. But needless to say, a tax for everything. And then whoever you give it to, there's an inheritance tax. So, I mean, there's taxes galore. And a lot of people don't know. The good thing, that's why I like precious metals. I mean, you know, when you buy precious metals, here you go. It was mine. Now it's yours. Bam. Whoever's the first one to get it. Although I have it set up a little differently where that's not going to happen like that. But needless to say, that's the average way. You know, somebody has it tucked under their mattress or something. Obviously, I'm a little different because I'm so public. We had this talk on Discord. What do you do when you're a public person and you tell everybody in the world that you buy gold and silver? Well, you don't keep it at your house, obviously. Otherwise, you run risks. And that's the thing that, you know, people say, oh, there's counterparty risk with gold and silver. I've heard that before. The risk that you might lose it. I said, well, that's risk, but it's not counterparty risk. Counterparty risk is you don't know if the person's lying. You don't know if they have it in their vault. You don't know if they have what they say they have that they're holding for you. I could have said, hey, hold this 10-ounce bar of silver, and you go and sell it right off the bat. Oh, yeah, I'm holding it for you. And then when I want it back, you go and buy another one. Or you take 10-ounce bars from 10 different people, and you only keep a couple on hand, and you sell the other ones and invest it in the stock market. And you're thinking, well, the stock market never goes down. And that's part of the problem. These banks have been investing your money in the stock market. These insurance companies have been investing your money in the stock market. You know, so a lot of people don't realize what's going on, how this is all played, this game. It's greed. And the sooner you realize it, the sooner you can get in front of it and position yourself to do better. With that being said, I don't want this to be a long video, so I'm going to cut it short. If you guys are new to the channel and you haven't yet hit that thumbs up button, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. It really helps out the algorithm, and it helps me out. And that's why I make these videos. August 22nd. So it's right around the corner. It's going to be an exciting day. I don't think it will be the end, but I think it will be another nail in the coffin of the US dollar. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Have a great one. Bye-bye.